The best house hunts are exciting journeys of discovery.
My goodness.
Where are you taking us?
Wow.
With many reveals along the way.
You look very excited.
I am. I can't wait to go inside.
Shall we?
Yes,
Oh, yes,
please.
Shall we
please.
then? Right.
Pleasantly surprising homes are always welcome,
Not in my wildest dreams did I think of that.
but more often than not, the winning ticket is a price tag under budget.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's probably thinking about what he can spend the rest on.
The county of Bedfordshire and its immediate neighbours offer some highly desirable locations for setting up home. With great commute times to the capital and gorgeous, low-lying, gentle countryside.
Here on Escape to the Country, we are renowned for featuring epic land and seascapes, but in areas like this, which are perhaps less dramatic and more tranquil, perhaps we should focus on our other senses. So sit back, relax, turn off the devices, resist the temptation to talk, and just listen to the sounds of the countryside.
Today, our property search will be focusing on Bedfordshire and the bordering county of Hertfordshire, a region that covers miles of beautiful rural landscapes with charming towns and settlements. Bedfordshire villages such as Ickwell and Old Warden display a fine assortment of architecture and equally eye-catching big open spaces. To the south, the Hertfordshire market town of Hitchin is a hotspot for shopping and dining out, housed in an impressive array of medieval timber-framed buildings. The striking St Mary's is the largest parish church in the county.
This whole area has plenty to offer everybody. If you like wildlife, there's plenty of wildlife, there's lots of walks, there's some great little village pubs, cycling, horse riding. So if you're an outdoor person, it's great. It's also close to London. If you want to go to the airport, you've got 3 airports within an hour. So brilliant place to live.
So whether your feet want to take you on a long scenic walk, a brisk browse around town, or stop for a quiet pint by the fire, these bordering counties will have no trouble coming up with the goods.
Now, you don't have to move that far to make a country escape. Case in point being today's couple. But as well we know, it doesn't always matter where you're coming from. We're here to help with where you're going to.
Hi, I'm William,
And I'm Carol.
and we've lived here in this house for very nearly 30 years in Harpenden. We've raised our children here, and Harpenden's been very good to us.
It has indeed, but I am registered blind, partially sighted, and I would really like to be able to have a bit more freedom to get to the shops by myself. I'd also like to be part of a community and live in a slightly smaller place.
Yeah, something more rural, so with some countryside and just a gentler pace of life.
Absolutely.
Retirees Carol, who was a chartered accountant, and her husband William, a former telecoms manager, have 2 children who are grown up and have left home.
We don't need 5 bedrooms anymore, so it's a good time to escape to the country.
But they won't be making their move alone. 3-year-old dachshund Lottie will be coming along for the ride.
She'll help enormously.
Yeah.
No doubt we'll find others with dogs along the way.
Yeah, and we're pretty sociable, aren't we? We like to enjoy going out and doing stuff with people as well as the dog.
Yes.
With an offer accepted on their house, Carol and William have a top budget of £900,000 to buy them a home with character, old or new. It needs to be nice and bright for Carol, and they'd like an open-plan living dining space along with 3 bedrooms. They want an enclosed garden for their pooch and a location that's a short walk to shops, ideally within a 45-minute drive of their daughter and grandson in Hitchin.
Well, ostensibly, I suppose, Carol and William's move is about being closer to family, but they're not very far away from them at the moment. But for all that, one thing is clear. It's not just about finding them a house, it's about finding them one in the right location. And key to that is a real sense of community and accessible community, particularly for Carol. Fundamentally, understanding how she sees the world is going to be crucial to finding properties that will absolutely deliver.
We'll be starting our property search in the village of Henlow in Bedfordshire, less than 15 minutes from Hitchin. But before we set off, we're meeting up to get acquainted.
Well, William, Carol, lovely to meet you. For your escape to the country, how excited are we then about finally making a move?
Enormously excited, Jules. Can't wait to see what you've got in store for us.
Well, we've got 3 properties lined up for you, which I hope will fit the bill. But Carol, if I may, can I ask you about your site and just how much of the world you're able to see? Because that's going to really help me begin to understand how you experience the properties we're going to show you.
I think I can probably see about 20% of what you see, Jules.
Okay.
So I can see, but everything's a bit dark.
Okay.
And I will lose the detail. So you're standing a little bit too far away from me right now, so I'm not seeing whether you're smiling or what you're doing. I can hear you, though.
Rest assured, I am smiling. William will be testament to that.
You know, I listen for things a lot more than perhaps you might. So, for example, my washing machine, I know it's 3 clicks round.
Interesting. Hopefully the sounds of the country and the sounds of our properties will really resonate with you. And, you know, I think for a couple like you who are leaving a gorgeous home, it's so important to find a property that's going to give you that emotional bridge to make that move happen.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. It has to be a pretty house inside and out from my point of view.
Something interesting.
Yeah.
And despite being in our mid-60s, we've still got room for a bit of a project in us, I think.
Well, I'm hoping we won't give you too much of a project because we would like you to be able to move straight in, more or less. Shall we go and explore?
Please,
Sounds
can't
good.
wait.
And I will show you
Oh, yes, please.
what we've got for you. Right, come on, Carol. Follow me.
Henlow, home to our first offering, is thought to be Old English for Hill of Birds. There's a good selection of facilities on offer for residents, including a choice of pubs, a luxury health spa, and salons for those on 2 legs as well as 4. There's also a village store just under 20 minutes walk from our first property, this rather smart, detached, single-storey abode.
Wow, this is what we are going to start with, a looky-likey barn conversion. Can you get a sense of it, Carol?
I can get the sense, not the detail, but yeah.
It's wooden clad and curvy tiles.
And the whole complex here is only about 3 years old. Now, when this lot was designed, the idea was to replicate the feel of a converted farmyard. So, to your right, Carol, you've got the rest of the properties that occupy this plot stretching out in a kind of courtyard. So they've had a go at producing something that is not historically unfamiliar in this part of the world, but it's all brand new.
It's very attractive, isn't it? It's a lovely mix of materials and colours.
You look very excited.
I can't wait to go inside.
Shall we?
Yes, please.
yes,
Come on then, right.
Built in 2020, this good-looking home has only had 1 owner, and it's no surprise that it's in excellent condition.
Right, come on in. You're going to go across the hallway. William, if you would care to walk into the kitchen diner.
Wow.
There we go.
The light is wonderful.
It's really clean and fresh, isn't it?
And then these lovely bifold doors. And a roof light too, actually, which is pouring light in over the top of the...
Over the table.
The table.
Yeah.
It lifts the spirits to have that sort of light, especially in the mornings. I like what I see. It's very much our taste.
Yes?
It? Very
Yes.
much.
I think this is the sort of kitchen diner where you would spend a huge amount of your time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it does have a separate living room.
Oh, it does?
It does,
Okay.
indeed, yeah. Come this way. William will guide you through. So this is the living room.
French doors to the garden.
Yeah, this is a nice area, isn't it? A lovely shape, very cosy. It's bright. It's light, and there's lots of contrast.
And room for grandson to play as well
Yes,
with us.
absolutely.
This property does come with 3 bedrooms.
Okay.
The fact that it's all on one level means that I think, you know, how you use these rooms is really flexible. And there's a separate study in the corridor outside as well.
OK, so not such a big downside then.
Well, you know, let's explore the rest of this property.
Yes, please.
William, lead on
Okay.
through the main corridor.
To the right?
To the right.
To the right.
There we are. So this, no surprise, is the principal bedroom. Loads of light over there. I love that 6-pane window.
Lovely. And another
great, isn't
window
it?
there. So
Yes.
there's coming in from 2. Beautiful. And is that the ensuite in there?
It is. Go and have a look, the pair of you, yeah.
OK.
It's
Oh, my goodness.
Beautifully finished, isn't it?
It's been so well thought out. It really has.
good. So we like it.
We
do.
like it.
Nothing
yeah.
to do. For...
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you say that. The loft space above is huge. If you wanted a project, that's the perfect place. It runs the full length of the building.
Of the other 2 bedrooms, one is a twin, large enough for a double bed, and the other is being used as a snug. There's also a family bathroom with bath and a separate shower cubicle. Moving outside, we find a spacious, enclosed and well-kept level garden, ideal for green-fingered Carol and their little dog Lottie. There's also a summer house and a garage.
Out into this lovely sunny back garden. Come this way.
It's glorious. Absolutely glorious.
Considering it's only 2.5 years old, it's already maturing and loads of colour.
It's remarkable, isn't it? It's got fruit trees that are already
Yeah.
bearing fruit.
I know.
It's lovely, isn't it?
I can see that I could help maintain this.
Well, your enthusiasm for this property is obvious.
Like,
Let's have a think about how much it's on the market for, shall we then?
£850.
£850,000, yep, straight in, no messing.
I would go for 875.
£875,000. OK. Well, what makes it even more attractive is a price tag of £835,000.
Oh, wow.
OK.
And we wouldn't have to do
And
much
nothing-
to that.
No.
Yeah, no, that is amazing. Yeah.
Cool.
He's probably thinking about what he can spend the rest on.
Priced under budget at £835,000, this single-storey home has been recently built but designed with character. It's got a bright kitchen diner, 3 bedrooms, a safe garden for Lottie and a garage.
I loved it. It's what I hoped we might find in my mind's eye, and this is very spacious with the light that floods in from every angle, so it's beautiful. I can feel comfortable, very comfortable in there.
When we first arrived and walked up to the front, I thought it looked a bit small, but then as soon as you get inside and walk through the house, it's much bigger inside than it appears from the front, and the courtyard is delightful.
I think closer to the town is about the only thing I could think to change.
We're staying in Bedfordshire for our next viewing, which is in Woburn. Once a hamlet, it has grown into an attractive town surrounded by countryside and under 40 minutes' drive from Hitchin. The town is famed for its abbey and its safari park. In 1724, a great fire destroyed many buildings here, which were rebuilt, resulting in the Georgian High Street we see today. It's lined with independent shops, with hungry and thirsty locals well catered for. For more serious shopping, there's a direct bus to Milton Keynes, which is 10 miles northwest. I've brought Carol and William to the centre of the action as we make our way to our next property.
Now, we're going to turn right, Carol. Here we go. Just coming off the high street.
My goodness.
Where are you taking us?
Wow. Through here. Right. Come with me. Little step there, Carol. There
Oh,
we
my
are.
Oh, wow.
Goodness.
Into this little oasis. Now, there's a pond in the patio.
Wow.
Please be careful of that. From here, we get a perspective on really what this property
Wow.
offers you. Can you get a sense of how
It's big.
tall it is?
It's big. Quite a bit different from the last one.
Very different. This is, we think, about mid-18th century, 1750s or thereabouts. But it was a coaching inn.
Oh, really?
Called the
hence
Goat.
walking through the
Hence we
arch.
came through that archway.
Got it.
Okay. We've also got for you, Carol, just ahead of you, some of the old outbuildings that would have been associated with this property when it was an inn. That has now been beautifully renovated and converted into a snug.
Okay.
But it is connected to the main house by this new addition. It's a great big glass orangery,
Okay.
and it links the two now. Well, let's explore, shall we?
Yes, please.
Records show there was an inn on this site as far back as 1649, but it's thought that due to the 18th century fire, along with so many other buildings in the area, the inn was also rebuilt in Georgian style and is now Grade 2 listed. Today, the attached house marries period character with 21st century features.
This is lovely. Feels like it's only just been done, hasn't it?
It's pretty much brand new.
Wow.
Take a step back, Carol, because this is the link orangery now.
Okay. What a lovely light area that is.
It is.
And then beyond that, you've got a snug and the utility room. It also has a cellar.
What do they use the cellar for?
Oh, there's steps down to the cellar.
There are. You get to it through that door. Well, of course, back in the day, it was an inn.
Yes, of course. That's
So-
where the beer would have been kept.
Exactly.
This home has so many interesting nooks and crannies, and we've only explored a fraction of them. Next stop is the sitting room on the other side of the stairs.
Hopefully, you get a sense of how big this is. Deceptively big, perhaps.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It's lovely. It's
Double aspect.
Yeah, but not square.
No. It's
No,
No.
it's sort of
more interesting.
chamfered because there's a big fireplace here.
That's kind of formal but cosy, isn't it?
Well, it's certainly a nice feeling in this room.
We're in the back of the boozer, mate.
Is it a lock-in?
Let's hope so.
Well, as fun as that sounds, there's still upstairs to see. Above us are 4 bedrooms laid out over 2 floors. On the first floor is the principal bedroom, which comes with an ensuite shower room. A second bedroom is in use as a dressing room, and there's also the family bathroom.
So here we are then at the very top.
At the top, I'm a bit out of breath now.
Come on in. We've got 2 bedrooms up here,
Oh.
plus another little bathroom immediately ahead of you as you come up the stairs.
Yeah.
These, I think, offer the best views of the park. And William, you will be able to see the lake in the distance,
Yes.
at which it is said on very rare occasions the park's elephants can be seen
Wonderful.
drinking and grazing.
Oh, how extraordinary.
That is wow.
Sadly not today, but that's what they say
Oh,
anyway.
lovely.
It's a lovely light room. I love it. Because that walk to the shops is amazing. That is just my dream.
Let's go down to the garden and think about the price, because that may also have a bearing on your deliberations.
As we saw on our arrival, the garden is a delightful walled courtyard in full bloom. No doubt a pint or two has been enjoyed here in years gone by, and there's also a brick storage room, once an outside loo.
So here we are then, pretty much where we started. I know you've perhaps made up your minds as to whether it's going to work or not, but how much do you think it is on the market for, madam?
I think it's probably towards the top end of our budget. I'd say 895,000.
£895,000, yeah?
I would go 900,000.
£900,000. Well, it may not surprise you to learn that this is actually over your budget somewhat, at £950,000.
Really?
Okay.
Because of what's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I thought it was worth showing to you because I know you're downsizing, so going over budget a bit, I thought, you know, if you
Yeah.
absolutely wanted it, there's a bit of wiggle room there.
Understandable.
This Grade 2 listed former coaching inn has rung in above budget, priced at £950,000. But it's chock full of character, has a fantastic kitchen with an adjoining orangery cum dining space, 4 bedrooms and a walled garden. Plus, it's perfectly placed just off a vibrant high street.
It's a character house in a mews location, which I hadn't really thought about before, with access to the country. So it's opened my eyes to lots of different ideas and places.
We've been pretty good in the past at making a house work for us, but I think there are one too many things here that we'd have to change, and I'm not sure how much you can do with a Grade 2 listed building anyway.
Our first day of house hunting has definitely left Carol and William with much to mull over. But before we call it a day, we're taking in the tranquil surroundings of Woburn Deer Park, just one of the area's much-loved treasures and home to some 3,000 of these beautifully elegant creatures.
Well, I've had a fascinating day. I hope inspiring you still to get on with this move and to reassure you that this is the part of the world you want to be in.
Wow, I mean, sitting here this evening, who'd want to be anywhere else?
It seems like a nice place to just sort of gather our thoughts a bit and just for me to get a sense of what your future life is going to look like.
Well, that is a good question.
That's a great
I've got a
question.
husband who doesn't sit still, so we will find things to do. And if the house doesn't need much work, then we will hopefully make ourselves part of a new community. We'd love that.
We just like being with people, meeting people and having fun. It doesn't necessarily matter what we're doing, just as long as we're being kind of sociable.
That's part of the fun of this move, really. And where will life take us? We don't have to have it all planned out.
We've led very busy lives. Now we've got time on our hands. It's going to be a big change in life for us.
I know, William, that you are a very keen pilot.
Yes. Well, yeah, I learnt quite a long time ago, about 25 years ago, to fly. And when we moved to our house in Harpenden, we couldn't afford to do it anymore, so I kind of stopped. But my wife does treat me to an hour or so of extreme aerobatics in a stunt aircraft every year or so, and occasionally flying in a simulator somewhere. So I'd like to do more of that, and with more time and a little bit of spare money from our house sale, that would be a nice thing to do.
Your house, as we now know, has gone under offer.
Yes.
So there is real urgency to this now, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the pressure a little bit.
I think you've understood what we want very well, and you've shown that in those first two houses.
Yes, very excited again for tomorrow. Great mystery tour.
If you've also set your sights on a postcode in this part of the world, here are some numbers to crunch to help get you started. Detached property prices in central Bedfordshire offer the best value for money and average just under £634,000. But if you're considering a move to Hertfordshire, you'll need deeper pockets, as there the average price rises to around £947,000. Carol and William are lucky to have a healthy budget for their new countryside home, but there's a diverse range of properties on offer in the area to suit most means. This detached Grade 2 listed thatched cottage in a North Hertfordshire village is full of period charm, with exposed timbers throughout. It has 2 double bedrooms and a light-filled conservatory, on the market for £595,000. Add another £100,000 and you could consider this semi-detached property in a village to the east of the county. With a contemporary finish and an open-plan layout, the kitchen leads to a paved patio and out onto the garden. It has 4 bedrooms plus views from upstairs across the countryside beyond. And if you just fancy exploring the area, how about a stay in this luxury oak treehouse just across the border in Cambridgeshire? It sleeps 2, has all the mod cons, including underfloor heating, an outdoor bath and endless rural views. Weekend rates are £325 per night for a minimum of 2 nights.
Well, with one more day of house hunting to go, I think at this stage it is fair to say we are getting there, but we are not quite there yet. And that, of course, is where our final offering, our mystery house, comes in. Fingers crossed, we'll get there.
Our last property destination is the village of Henham, which comes with a Hertfordshire address but is in fact in Essex and is the furthest from their daughter at around an hour from Hitchin by road. The village is in a pretty setting with quiet lanes flanked by chocolate box cottages. There are good road links with the larger centres of Bishop Stortford and Saffron Walden, both around a 20-minute drive away. The close-knit community has the use of facilities including a book exchange, a pub, a community hall and a village shop with post office. Lucy is one of the volunteers in the shop and we've come to chat to her about life and work in this delightful village.
There's about 30 or 40 volunteers and it's been going for about 25 years.
Has it?
Oh, that's fantastic.
You love living here, don't you?
I do love living here. We've been here for 5 years and I don't think you're considered a local until you've been here for about 30 years.
That's standard.
So, yeah.
But you
really
feel
lovely.
welcome, do you?
Very much so, yeah.
But from what you've seen so far, William, could you imagine life
Very
here
much so.
and Carol being secure, walking to and from the shop?
Yeah, as we've driven in, it has a calm feel to it, and it feels like you could walk around the village and take Lottie for a walk here without any problem at all.
Do you have a dog?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's so dog friendly, it's not true, this village. It's almost a prerequisite of moving in.
And architecturally, there is such a
It is,
wonderful
yeah.
range of buildings
Yeah.
here, some very historic, many of them thatched.
I'm just making out the thatch over there and I'm thinking, I've always fancied living in it.
Well, I think we might be about to make Carol's dreams come true, because just a 7-minute walk from the village shop is the house we're here to see. This Grade 2 listed thatch cottage, which is around 400 years old.
What can you make of this?
It's a thatched.
It's a thatch. It's a thatch.
Thatched cottage.
I never thought. Not in my wildest dreams did I think of that.
Now, looking at it, I'm going to guess it's probably 15th, 16th century.
Wow.
OK. Might be a little bit younger, but probably not far off.
Is it listed?
It is listed, as you might expect, but also the whole village is a conservation area.
I'm desperate to see inside.
Shall we?
Yes, please.
Please.
Come on then.
This gorgeous cottage is deceptively large, and that's because it started life as 2 before it became 1.
Turn right, there we are, and walk ahead across this sun-drenched terrace.
My word. Certainly lovely and warm today.
Isn't it? And we're going to step up to our left, follow me this way,
Okay.
into the kitchen. Come in a little way.
It's all new.
It's beautiful.
Just didn't expect that from the outside.
There's a huge amount of space around this island, probably a good 1.5 meters, I would say.
Absolutely.
And then over to the far corner, we've got one of 2 downstairs bathrooms. That's a walk-in wet room.
Okay. It's certainly big enough and it has everything you could want.
It does allow you this lovely mix of old and new.
Yeah.
It also leads off through there to what was a garage, which they've now got as a dining room.
Okay.
OK.
This is full of surprises, this one.
Well, just you wait and see what the living room is like. I think, in fairness, probably the biggest one of the lot.
Really.
Yeah.
You're teasing, aren't you?
Come on, you two. Come with me through here. So this is what's on offer. And an enormous period Inglenook fireplace.
Can you see
Yes,
it?
I can. I can.
But ahead of us, Carol, we've got some double doors that lead back out onto the garden terrace.
I like the light coming in through that double doors there.
Come with me. Come with me. There is one major step here,
Okay.
which is the only one really down on this ground
Yes,
floor.
I can do that one.
We are probably coming into the older part of the property here.
Yes, you've got to have a bit of an imagination, I think.
Absolutely. And leading off of this is the other downstairs bathroom, this one being a dedicated shower room.
Okay.
And we've got 2 staircases here.
2 staircases.
I haven't spotted the other one.
No, it's hidden away.
Okay.
But this is the one I think you would rely upon. Come and have a look. And it's a sort of right-hander, so a few steps up and then it turns to the right.
The sleeping accommodation on the first floor consists of 3 bedrooms.
So this is the principal bedroom for you two, with its own little shower en suite in the corner.
Oh,
Okay,
another
so we
bathroom.
do have bathroom upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
really two main doubles up here.
Okay.
So we've dialed down on the bedroom space and tried to give you more
Character.
living space and character and history,
Yes.
you know, within this amazing village.
It's so unconventional that I'm just struggling to see me in it at this minute.
To be honest with you, Carol, you're not alone. Properties like this do take a lot of understanding because they've evolved.
Across the hallway is the third bedroom. Now in use as a dressing room, it could be turned into a single guest room. But before we head outside, there are two more rooms to check out downstairs. The study
Yeah, we put this to good use, haven't we?
Yeah.
and the dining room.
So it's quite nice and bright.
Yeah.
Outside, the pretty cottage garden hugs the property and includes an area of lawn surrounded by trees and flowers, a raised paved patio and a sweet ornamental waterfall.
This is pretty, and it's a nice size, not too big.
Lottie would love it as well.
Lottie
Place
would
to
love
run
it.
around.
Let's have a think about the price of this one then.
A beautiful and very unusual cottage with history. So I'm going to go £920,000.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go a little below that, and I'm going to go nearer to the £900,000.
Okay. And if it were £900,000, given all that it offers you with the village and so forth, would you do it?
I absolutely adore the village, and I've always wanted a thatched, so I'd love to make it work.
Well, let me make that job a little bit easier for you because this is currently on the market for £775,000.
Okay.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, so we
Hear
could
the
actually afford to do some stuff.
Here the pennies drop, quite literally.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
You've blown us away.
Good.
Coming in substantially below budget with a guide price of £775,000, this period thatched cottage has a fantastic modern kitchen, 3 bedrooms and a pretty garden. It's in the heart of the village, just a short stroll from the village shop.
When I first went inside, I have to say I thought that it was going to be a no because the layout is very unusual. But I've walked around it again, and I think actually with a few tweaks, it's quite a possibility.
It's got potential if we swap rooms around and the use of the rooms and the purpose of the rooms, and maybe add a bit more glass to get a little more daylight in. And it's so pretty.
It's in a lovely location, and it is all about the location at the end of the day. So, yeah, it's a definite contender.
That's it, our final roll of the dice.
Well, you've flummoxed us with this one.
That's okay. The house tours are now over,
Okay.
but the journey still has some way to go, I think.
I think so.
I think so.
Come on.
Yes.
Now, with Carol a keen gardener and William passionate about planes, I thought I'd bring them to the Shuttleworth collection near the Bedfordshire market town of Biggleswade. It's a place where they can both indulge their interests when they move. In the early 18th century, Sir Samuel Ongley bought what would become the Shuttleworth estate before it was owned by the Shuttleworth family. Today, it's not only home to a world-famous collection of vintage cars and aircraft, there are over 7 acres of stunning Regency gardens to enjoy too. Tony Young has the enviable job of head gardener here.
It is unusual to find a Swiss-themed garden. Where does that idea come from?
The Napoleonic Wars had ended, the English were allowed back into Europe, and Switzerland was a destination. So coming back from a holiday, you always bring a little theme back, and Lord Ongley wanted to replicate that in the form of this garden, because this is one of the few Regency gardens we have in the country. You would have come back from your Swiss holiday and thinking, well, do you know what? With a bit of work and a few wheelbarrows and good men, we can do something with this pretty much derelict area, probably at the time.
Well, the garden is busy today. We've got a couple of your volunteers working hard on the laurel here.
Yep.
It's clearly a massive job to keep this going.
Yep, we've got 20 or so volunteers.
So there you go.
Hey.
All this could be yours. For a 1 day a week, if you fancy it. It's a very extensive garden, this, but what I love about it, just seeing it briefly now, is the way that it leads off in so many different directions. There's always something to discover here, Tony.
Oh, yeah, oh, yes. Yes, we have a little chapel tucked away, a little baby stained glass window.
And you've also got a grotto, which is very much in that 18th, 19th century grand garden scheme of things, isn't it?
That's really splendid.
We've got these huge trees around us. I can see a lovely great big sequoia in the distance, the little thatched cottage behind us.
There's shady bits, there's bright bits. It's got a lovely atmosphere, very peaceful.
We could explore this all day long, but there is more to this place than just the gardens, as I think you know, William.
Absolutely certain of it. My dad brought me here when I was a very little boy, well over 50 years ago. So, yeah, I'm pretty certain this is where my interest in flying started. In fact, I'm getting quite emotional about it right now.
Well, let's open the memory books, William, because Debbie Land, a volunteer with 10 years' service, is going to show us around this huge hangar which holds some of the 35 vehicles and 50 aircraft here. A collection which was started around 100 years ago by one Richard Shuttleworth.
My first time here, not yours.
No. This one behind me, I remember seeing flying, and it's just wonderful. They're just beautiful aircraft. How old?
That one's 1910.
Oh, goodness me.
There's not a mark on it.
It did fly, didn't it?
It flew on Sunday.
It looks absolutely terrifying. So what was it about the Shuttleworth family that encouraged them to invest so much in this incredible collection of historic aircraft?
I think it was really Richard's passion. He was an engineer. He got into cars and racing and speed, and I think from that it was a natural progression. There was no limit to the things he would do.
Over the years, assembling a collection of, 50 aircraft, all of which can fly?
Yeah, most of them will fly.
Carol, if you want to step forward, you might get a sense of what they're all about. This is just canvas, Debbie, isn't it, really?
It is, yes.
OK. So it feels a bit like fiberglass, but it isn't. It's spongier than that.
You'll start to feel the stitches of where the canvas joins the framework.
So the canvas is sewn together?
It's sewn onto the ribs, and then it's applied with dope to stiffen it.
Well, there is just so much here to take in, and hopefully now giving you a few more memories, updated memories to take forward.
It's a great collection.
And also there's volunteers as well. There's opportunity for volunteering, so...
Now then.
Gardener? Aircraft.
There you go.
To give William a taste of what might be to come, we're being given the opportunity to get up close and personal with this magnificent specimen built in 1941.
Wow, how about that, William?
It's the Spitfire, Jules. No doubt about it.
It's our favourite aircraft, isn't it? Why, isn't that just the most beautiful looking thing?
One of the most famous aircraft designs in the world.
Have you been lucky enough to fly one?
I've flown a simulator at Goodwood, and it was a genuine cockpit experience. Just flies beautifully.
Now, I knew that this Spitfire was going to be rolled out today. What I didn't know is that they were going to give us a chance for you, if you wish, Carol, to jump in.
Yes, maybe I'll start to share his passion for this. I would love to do that.
Shall we?
This is a great privilege.
Wow.
Yay!
Gentlemen, thank you so much.
You are so kind.
Right, where are we going?
I'll show you how to start it then.
OK, Wow, I'm having to get up close, obviously, to sort of see what I'm looking at, but...
What do you think, Carol?
Yeah. I'm thinking, wow. I never thought I'd be doing this today, or ever, actually.
And over there, look, the tiger moth about to taxi out. Well done, Carol. There you go, you're down. Hey, oh my goodness.
Thank you.
William is practically salivating, and we couldn't head off without giving him a go too.
He is absolutely in his element, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, you've made his day, well, his week. But I'm getting all emotional for him.
Yeah. Flaps aren't they that you open and close on the ground?
Yeah. Just need to get you a house now.
You do.
With its own airfield.
Yeah.
William, I'm going to have to tear you away.
I love it. Can I stay here?
You want to be careful. He knows how to fly this, so come on.
But only one of us can travel back to base in style.
Bye.
Bye, chaps. Bye.
Well, I think if you get to fly, she gets a car.
Very fair.
Come on, we better catch up with her. And look at that.
What a wonderful time I've had house hunting with Carol and William. But have we managed to find them what they're looking for? Let's find out.
Wow, look at this. The last of the sunshine today. How do we make sense of this week then, you two? But it did start well with property 1.
Very much so.
That did meet all the requirements, but one, really.
But one, and that was access to shops and community. Now, our mystery property in the wonderful village of Henham, which sold itself long before you saw the house.
You did.
Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
You were able to walk from the shop and the location of the pub to our mystery property.
It was a lovely house,
Yeah.
but not quite as I'd have it if I wanted to live in it. So
Yeah.
We'd like to go back and think about how we could adapt it to let a little more light in, and in a few simple things that we'd want to do to make it suitable for us.
When are you going to make your minds up? Because, just to remind you, your current home is under offer.
yes,
Yes.
we'll have to get a move on.
We don't mess around.
Well, I would love to come back in the future and see how you're getting on in your new country life, whether it's at our mystery house or indeed any other. It's been a real pleasure this week to help you along the way to what I hope is your new rural future.
Well, thank you, and you'll be very welcome, absolutely.
It's been a fabulous week.
Thank you.
You know, one of the things I take away from this week is seeing Carol understand a building. She's genuinely got a sense of what a building feels like, and that is the one piece of magic we always look for in a successful house hunt. They've still got some thinking to do, some planning is to be done, but moving they most certainly are, and I wish them all the very best of luck. I'll see you next time.
Carol and William were true to their word and they didn't mess around. They revisited our mystery house with their children, hatched some plans and made an offer which was accepted. So it won't be long before they're enjoying their new country life in that gorgeous thatch. If you would also like to escape to the country in England, Northern Ireland, Scotland or Wales and need our help, why not apply online at bbc.co.uk/take part.